The fee that you actually pay to the government is 10,000 euros. That's what it's going to cost you out of pocket. And then, of course, if you're using an attorney, you're looking at attorney
year long.
fees.
You see me
Obviously,
with and you see like with warm clothes right now because it's winter. It's actually 22 to 25 degrees, so it's really nice. Just we're getting used to being way much hotter. So this is definitely one of the main reason why people want to come to.
and that's the permanent residency card there. Thank you. Really appreciate it. So that's how quick it was. Approximately 45 minutes, or rather 30 minutes inside. So yeah, you might wait outside, but it's usually 30 minutes to 35 minutes inside. Super quick, and our attorney makes it all happen.
Uruguay from scratch is permanent residency. We apply for permanent residency. There is no a minimum time to be in Uruguay. Yes, once you have the residency, come once every 3 years at least. And that's it.
So a lot of people purchased the citizenship by investment passports, particularly I'm talking about the Caribbean passports during the pandemic. People thought it's going to be an insurance policy. Once you make this purchase, you're essentially buying lifelong EU access to the UK, access to Ireland. That is what people thought they were getting for 100K. Then the prices went up. Now the prices are close to 300K. And essentially in 2026, I think these passports could be more of a liability. They're losing access slowly and steadily. It all started off with Vanuatu. It lost the Schengen access. A lot of people purchased the passport for two reasons. One is the ease, the speed of 60 days to acquire that passport. And obviously, the main reason was the Schengen access. The first thing that happened really after all the mass sales was that the Schengen access got terminated. And now in 2026, there's a larger issue. Of course, the access is being taken away. Ireland famously revoked visa-free access on St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Lucia just recently, just a few weeks ago. This happened. Other countries on the similar path. Some countries in the EU unofficially restrict entry. There was a famous case where a couple of Dominican passport holders were denied and removed, sent back to their home country or whichever country they came from. Of course, they were carrying the Dominica passport. So these sort of things are happening. And now officially, by the end of 2026, early 2027, the ETIAS system, which is the e-visa system, is going to go live. So yes, if you have an Australian or an American or any other Western solid strong passport, you used to have a direct visa free before, but now you're going to get this e-approval and then you're good to go. But the moment you expose or you disclose any Caribbean passport, what is the system going to do? The system is in place, obviously, to detect these type of purchased citizenships. The strategy in 2026 has drastically changed. And I'm going to discuss in this video 3 options, 3 residencies is all that you need to tackle this problem. So nope, you don't have to purchase any of those CBI passports. A lot of them are obsolete in 2026. You need better and smarter solutions. I'm going to discuss 3 smart solutions in this video. And these residencies that I'm talking about, these permanent residencies that I'm talking about, some of them are permanent and some could lead to permanent as well as citizenship in future. But these residencies that I'm talking about are each under 10,000 euros approximately. There's going to be lawyer fees and all those kind of things which could slightly add up, but typically around the 10k euros mark. That's the out-of-pocket cost that you're looking at. Now, some options might require a bank deposit, so it's your money is going to sit with you in your bank account, but essentially the fee that you're paying to the government is going to be around the 10k mark for one option. The other 2 options are almost free in the sense you're not paying anything to the government, you're simply paying for your own documentation, your own legal fees, and that kind of stuff. Now, before I deep dive in these options, these permanent residencies or residencies which are going to solve all these complex issues that people face with these purchased CBI passports, if you're new to the channel, then please do me a favor. Check your subscription and turn on that subscription. It truly makes a big difference. It helps me get you breaking news and on time. The first option I'm going to discuss is the EU option, People want a paper pass. People want a paper residency associated with whichever passport it is. Whether you're carrying a Caribbean, whether you have a weaker home country passport, if you have a Plan A passport, it still makes sense to grab the residency, because once the approvals are going to be issued, you're better off still having a residency and not required to go through all of that process and disclose additional unnecessary information. That is where a paper residency from the EU goes a long way in stabilizing your situation and stabilizing your portfolio. And I'm talking about the country of Latvia. I'm going to discuss strategic continents, all of Latin America, all of EU, and all of Africa, or some of Africa, the meaningful Africa, I should say. So when you talk about the EU, the best one, the cheapest one, the fastest one is the Latvia golden visa. Again, a paper residency. The biggest con, and then the pro. The biggest con of this option is that it's a yearly renewal. So yes, you have to renew this every year. No physical presence required. One trip to the EU, one trip to Latvia to renew it, and then you can continue to keep this option till you get the permanent residency or eventually naturalize. Naturalization is going to require more physical presence. Maintaining the golden visa or the paper residency is not going to require physical presence as a condition to maintain it. What are the costs? How do you qualify? Now, anyone with a strong passport who has visa-free access to Latvia, before the ETA kicks in, this is the time to take action at any point in time. You want to take action, you want to get started with this option, you always click the link, book a call. We have a specialized team in Latvia and the other two countries that I'm going to disclose in this video. So you can secure this as soon as possible and before the ETA goes live. Now, the way to qualify is put 50,000 euros in an existing company or in your own company. If you're putting this in your own company, you got to pay taxes, corporate taxes over a certain threshold. The easier option for most people is deposit this money in an existing company. It's 50,000 euros. You get this back when you don't need it, when you don't want this option. Once this matures, once you convert to permanent residency, or once you naturalize, you don't need to keep the 50k euros. You can get this back. The fee that you actually pay to the government is 10,000 euros. That's what it's going to cost you out of pocket. And of course, if you're using an attorney, you're looking at attorney fees. Obviously, you're going to pay some money for documentation, your visa, your certification of your documents, and all that kind of stuff. So essentially, this is the cheapest possible entry, a paper path to the EU. So you can secure this on one side. The second option on this list covers all of Latin America, and the best option, it's a direct permanent residency in Latin America, and you don't have to have any physical presence as a condition to maintain this permanent residency. And that's what I truly call permanent, because you don't lose it, because you don't need physical presence in the country. You turn up once in every 3 years and you continue to maintain this. This is the permanent residency, the direct permanent residency in Uruguay. If you're using your spouse on your application, if you're putting your spouse on your application and doing this as a couple, then you can naturalize, both of you can naturalize in 3 years. That's the pro. If you're getting this permanent residency as a single applicant, then the time to citizenship is 5 years. You need physical presence for the citizenship for that 3 years. If you're looking for the passport, then of course you need to have attachment to the country. But if you're simply trying to hold on to the permanent residency, no physical presence required, turn up once in every 3 years, and then you are good to go. And the qualifying criteria for this one, no golden visa fees. You're not paying 10k to the government. This is an almost free option. Is simply showing your active salary or your passive salary. Does not matter what type of salary. $1,200 per month of salary you show, and doesn't have to be specifically for a certain number of months. Just got to have a declaration in place that you earn $1,200 a month, and you can secure permanent residency. This is one of the most popular permanent residencies that most of our clients are getting. We specialize in this type of residency. If you compare it with other service providers, this is the channel that does this. This is the channel that talks about this. We have a specialized team.
You can apply for citizenship, and the process takes around 6 months to 1 year to get the passport. But you need to
Really?
leave. Yes, but
Wow. So that's how fast it is? 6 months to 12
yes,
months?
yes, but
And a highly skilled attorney who is a born and brought up Uruguayan, who does this for us, who obviously processes our applications or presents our applications at immigration. So as I said, if you are interested, this is the time before they put golden visa fees and before this becomes a 200 or a 500K card. It's free right now, almost free right now. So you can always click the link, book a call, have a quick chat, and we can get you started with this option. The third option, and before I move to the third option, this particularly works if you have a visa-free access to Uruguay. For example, let's say you did a Turkish CBI. Turkey does not require a visa to enter Uruguay. You enter Uruguay using that visa-free passport, and then you can convert to permanent residency. For people who don't have a visa-free access, I would say the slightly better option to consider would be Paraguay. Uruguay would be a challenge because, again, you don't have the visa-free access to Uruguay, so Paraguay would make more sense in that situation. Again, it all depends upon your nationality. And the good thing about Uruguay is that it's a Mercosur citizenship, so once you have the cedula, you have flexibility across the Mercosur region. Once you become a citizen of Uruguay, then you are a Mercosur citizen. You can actually settle, do business, do job, do whatever you want across the Mercosur region, which is several countries, useful countries, powerful countries like Chile, Argentina, Peru, Brazil, and the list goes on. So you're secure in Latin America. Latvia, the paper residency secures your situation in the EU. Uruguay, permanent residency secures your situation in all of Latin America, so you're not running pillar to post applying ETAs. You already have the permanent residency in some of these countries, which again solidifies your portfolio. Number 3 on this list is one of the best, the safest, the friendliest option in Africa, the most popular option with us, and it is the nation of Mauritius. Friendly immigration, and most passports have visa-free entry to Mauritius. This is easy to strike. If you're over 50, then you qualify for this one based on your age. There's just a bank account opening and 24K deposit in your own bank account. That's all that you need. If you're under 50, then we create a company, hire yourself, you still get the permanent residency. Or you can simply open up a business bank account and structure it. And as I said, we have a specialized team in Mauritius who does this for us, and you can secure this permanent residency. So that way you have access to the friendliest country in Africa, the best strategic country or the permanent residency country in Latin America, and of course the paper residency in the EU. That way you're not dependent upon, or you're not held hostage to that visa-free access that you're losing day by day. You don't have to spend 300K. You don't have to create a liability on your portfolio. You simply have these tucked in, hidden, sweet residencies that secure your portfolio for your life. And this is something that you should consider for yourself as well as for your family. So it's not just you who are secure, you're securing your children's future. When the right time comes, people naturalize from your family and they secure all important passports, and then that speeds up your own situation in certain cases. In some of the Latin countries, if you're a child, goes to education, they naturalize, the parents automatically join the fast track in certain instances, so it all works out perfectly in the end. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and catch you in the next one.